Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And France have snatched a victory against Australia right at the end. Damien Penaud going over with a brilliant individual effort to get a 1-point victory over the Australian side, which continued to be a side of close but no cigar. And Australia would have been worthy victors. I thought played very well, but not to be. And to be fair, that brilliant individual effort at the end there, 2 slip tackles, and at the end of the day, you miss a couple of tackles, you always risk conceding. That's exactly what happened. Before we break the game down, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. So in terms of this sort of your timeline, it all started out pretty well actually for Australia, who got an early penalty. Bernard Foley kicked it over, but then France started they very much played an accumulator sort of type of game, France, where they got themselves into Australian territory, won penalties, and just took the points. And we saw Thomas Ramos with an absolute masterclass off the tee, missing missing 2, one towards the end there, but really, really reliable from most places in the park. So he nailed 2 penalties. Bernard Foley squared that up in the 13th minute, but probably one of the tries of the season as Australia went coast to coast from well inside their 22 on the 5-meter all the way to the other side and scoring one of the best tries you'll see all year. As Valakai Fekete finished it off before he then went off, Foley adding the extras to make it 13 points to 6. However, once again, France just staying in the game, getting themselves into Australian territory, finding a penalty, taking the points. Two penalties there from Ramos, squared it up to 1 point. And then just before halftime, Julien Marchand going over, scoring a try. Halftime scored 19 points to 13. We then saw France start quite well with an early penalty in the second half. But then we actually really saw Australia start kicking into gear. And a brilliant try from Jock Campbell in the 56th minute was then converted by Foley, who then added another penalty. We then traded penalties, but then right towards the end, 76 minutes, Damien Penaud finds a bit of space outside and runs straight inside of Tom Wright, gets away from Jock Campbell, goes over. A brilliant score from him. And France, well, it was almost a bit of a shock victory, but getting the job done. 30 points, 29. If you go look at some of the stats, pretty even, to be honest. France, 53%. Australia, 47%. Territory was literally 50-50. 2 tries apiece. 1 conversion to 2. 6 penalties, or 1 extra penalty for France. If you look at the meters, pretty similar as well. France beating a lot more defenders. Had more gain line carries. Made a lot more passes. Far more offloads. Kind of, obviously, as you'd imagine, with the style of play that they do have. Kicks from hand. Far more kicks from hand as well. They play a very comprehensive kicking game. And you look at the defense, not brilliant from either side, but Australia making 119 of 146 tackles, whilst France making 78 of 92, so 85 and 82% tackle success rate. Goal kicking success rate was 78% for France, 88 for Australia. Bernard Foley kicked very well. Lineouts were a bit of an issue for Australia. They did lose 3 and a very important one right towards the end. Just losing the 1 from France, but France losing 3 scrums, and I think that'll be an interesting statistic that Springbok fans might sort of perk up to, in the fact that they might believe that they can get at this French scrum. Penalties were pretty consistent for both sides conceding 10, and no cards throughout the match, which is a very strange thing. But in terms of sort of individual performances, I thought that Dupont was obviously characteristically very good. I thought Damien Penaud, 75 meters, 6 defenders beaten, a try. He made his tackles. I thought Thomas Ramos was very bright. 20 points to him, 130 meters gain, 4 defenders beaten. He is going to be a very big part of what the Boks need to try and shut down next weekend. Charles Oliver was absolutely tremendous. 12 tackles, 7 carries. Gregory Elder as well, 7 carries. 13 carries and 11 tackles. That loose trio ready to put a lot of work in. Julien Marchand had 12 carries as well, so put a lot of work in there. If you then look at sort of some of the Australian players, I thought Jock Campbell was actually really bright, despite missing the tackle towards the end. But made quite a few meters, beat a lot of defenders. I thought Fekete looked pretty good before he went off. Very sad, and looks like he won't be playing. But I thought it was a very quiet night for some of the Oz big players. I thought Michael Hooper put a lot of tackles in. I think he made like 16 tackles, but didn't see too much with him ball in hand. Which is an underrated part of his game, but obviously his defense is where he comes into his own. Rob Valentini also, just 4 carries, and it's weird. He's such a big ball carrier, which kind of shows you sort of that they didn't really use their sort of big ball carriers as much as they'd like. Tupou with 5 carries, 12 tackles. I thought he was actually very good. And I was very impressed with Bernard Foley. I thought it was a very assured performance. Probably a better fly-off on the day. Not that Intermac played badly, but I just thought that Bernard Foley had a very good day for Australia. Please let me know what you're thought of the game down in the comments below. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.